depends on what you want, I guess. Okay. So, for those that just came up, I'm doing this to show you I do a lot of little paintings like this, and it keeps me moving fast and thinking, not trying. I can't do detail when I'm painting with a big brush on a small painting, and that's a good thing to practice at. So I'll just do one after another, and then they're 5x7, so you can go to Michael's craft store or wherever and get a 8x10 frame with a 5x7 mat. Just drop it right on there for $10 or $15. And you might be kind of surprised at what you got. It can be a lot of fun. So let's go back to our demonstration and take the next step. So what I do now at this point is I'm always keeping in mind where the sunlight is coming from, and I want to make sure I don't cover over the white paper that I want to have as the sunlit edge. If I cover that over, it's over, it's done. I cannot get that back. And I also am going to want some light highlights on the edge of some of these paper curls, at least the ones that might be around the tree enough where the sun would hit them. These back here will be in shadow. So I am going to mix up the colors I need and have them all ready to go on my palette and the brushes that I want. So I always like having 2 containers of water. So I've got a clean one, or sort of clean, and one that's for dark stuff. And if I need clean water, I go in here. So one of my brushes is just simply going to be for clean water, because I will lightly moisten the tree I'm going to work with. It helps pull the paint around a little nicer. The second brush I want for, and I'm going to accent this a little more, this dark shadow right here. And that shadow I'm going to make a deep purple color. Okay, so I'm going to mix up some French ultramarine and some alizarin crimson, like that. And if you think to yourself, that's so vibrant purple, I don't like it that vibrant, what should I add to it to cut it down? If you have your trusty color wheel again, you go across the color wheel somewhere over in this area. And so for me, I like to go right over here to burnt sienna and grab that. It functions as an orange, and it slightly tones it down. You don't have to. You could have a nice and bold purple too. Anyway, so I've got that color mixed. Now I need my back lighting, my back reflected color. And so what I do with that is I usually use the colors that are in the scene at the time. So if it's a spring or summer scene, I'm usually using raw sienna. If it's fall or winter, I might be in that family, but I tend to lean more toward burnt sienna. So I'll get that mixed up nice and bright. It's not, there's too much other stuff on here. Let's get some more pure color. There we go, a little better. And then I'm just going to add a little raw sienna to it just to kind of balance some of the yellows that are there. I've got those colors mixed and ready. So now I need a paper towel in my other hand. This is highly technical, isn't it? I've got my brush with a little water. I'm going to get some of that water off of there by touching the sponge or the paper towel. And then I can either drag that right over there, but I like to just mist it from a distance, just a little bit, not a lot. And then I drag this damp brush over here to pull the moisture around. I go around these things, these little curls, so I save dry paper around them, and the paint won't go there. I'll fill those in later. And then you're really under a time pressure when you do this. So I go in first with, see how that wet paper pulls this? I go in with this shadow now that's about a third of the way in from the sunlit side, all the way down. I set that down, and I come right back in while it's wet, and I have to overlap that purple with my backlit color. Drag it over it so it merges together like this. And then I like to try, and this is the hard part, I like to try and get some of that color on the front side too, but it's dry paper out here, so it's a little harder to make it look nice. Because that helps it make it look like it's glowing a little bit more. Okay, now I've got that on there. Pull that all the way to this back edge. These will be in shadow. I'm going to cover most of those up. All right, and this will seem kind of like a waste of paint the next thing I do, but I find that it seems to do the best job. Is I set this down. I take paper towel. It's got to be dry. It can't be wet. If it's wet, you'll have a permanent dark spot on here. And I blot off the back side, not super hard, but a little bit. And by lifting off some of this color that's now stained into the fibers of the paper, it restores some of the luminosity on the back side of the tree. Okay, like so. And then I'll hold this back so you can see what I'm talking about. You see how the light now is starting to emerge on the tree.
How come you didn't do it to the other two trunks?
I will.
Oh.
So I'm just doing one at a time.
All right.
I'm not quite that fast. So, and you just definitely want to take one at a time when you do this.
So you're going to do one tree at a time?
One tree at a time.
Yeah, you don't.
Until you get better, then you could do 2 or 3. But even then, I still have, if I'm going to do 3 at a time, I've got to be flying through here because the timing is really critical. If you let the purple dry too much before you put the backlight color on, you'll have a solid line down your tree that you can't get rid of, and you'll be scrubbing on that to try and soften that. It just won't merge together nicely. So I'll do another one to show you. This is my clear water brush. I've got my spray bottle. Let me see. I'm going to do this one to show you a tree that goes light against dark, and then we'll get dark against light. The sky and the water here, because all the rest of these have dark all the way. Okay, so I've got my shadow color mixed. It's ready. I've got my backlit color mixed and ready. Need a little more water with that. Got my clear water, and then let's mist the tree just a touch. I didn't draw any paper curls on that one, I guess. I could go around a couple spots if I remember. And let's just drag this over the tree, saving the dry edge here a bit. Let's see if we can get a curl or 2 right in there. I'll never remember that. Maybe I will if I keep talking about it. Come down with our shadow, kind of haphazardly, not a straight line, but back and forth. I don't even know where the dry paper is in there, somewhere in there. Let's see what we can do here to save some of those curls. Now, where it's going to be dark against light, I do dark right on the edge of the tree here, but then I stop where it's going to be darker behind it. I'm going to do a little here too. It seems kind of strange, but you right away have to get in here and blur these so it pulls them together like that. Okay, and maybe there's some shadows being cast by the leaves up here on the white birch. So I'll have that go across like so. Now, do you remember what the next step is?
Blot it.
Blot it off.
No, you didn't do a little bit of that on this side.
Oh yeah,
Was that
that's right.
purposefully?
No, that
Oh,
wasn't. That was forgetfulness. So let's add just a little bit of that here. That little touch of light color helps create a more vibrant glow to the eye. So then I leave it pretty dark when it's up against the light background already. Just blot a little bit. And in here I can blot a little bit harder. It's light, dark behind there. Not quite so much here. Okay. So that's the second one. Now while this is still doing its thing, there are other fun things you can do to add. Show you. See right here? There's a blue appearance in there. A blue and red. And then on this tree right here, it's blue up in here. I just picked up some cerulean blue. And cerulean has teeth, so to speak. It will bite right on down through other colors. And it gives kind of a shadowed, you're contrasting cool and warm. it makes it very interesting to place
It
these
does.
two opposites together. And there probably are shadows with the light kind of flickering between the leaves, waving in the breeze. It really makes for a fun appearance. So I play around with that and add that in. You know, I mean, you could try it in different places. You could put it down there. It's all up to you.
If you don't have cerulean, what would you use?
I'd use cobalt
Okay.
then, yeah. But cobalt's transparent. It's not going to do the same thing. Cerulean's semi-opaque, and it digs in there and it sediments like that. It gives all that granular look. But give it a try. Then you can, when a birch tree peels back, there's a different color that's exposed. I use a little permanent rose, maybe some raw or burnt sienna, kind of create this peach color. So here's some curls. Let's say they curled right back from here. Drag a couple of those, real subtle on there. So it looks like that's where it came from. Maybe there's some there, some down there. Maybe there was one up here a long time ago. It just creates more interest. It isn't a line or something that continues without change is artistically boring to the eye. So now it's interrupted. You want to keep interrupting these. Color change, line change, shape change, contrast change. That's a real key to this. And if you have salt, this is a time you could